Both victims were shot in the leg and are expected to survive. Akron police describing this as a senseless shooting. So far, no arrest and no description of the person who pulled the trigger.
Whole thing and says the shooters were wearing ski masks and shot out the window.
Breaking news, man. Sounds like they still trying to get back for Lil Jeff. They done shot up Carter funeral, and I'm hearing his sister was killed, man. I don't know how true it is, but I'm hearing his sister was shot. Right now, word on the street is she was also killed as they slid through Trap City Carter funeral, and they shot that up.
Woman shot on 147th Street during funeral procession in Harvey. Someone opened fire on a funeral procession late Saturday morning. It may be a retaliation shooting, police on scene said. A woman was shot late Saturday morning as a funeral procession made its way along 147th Street. According to an Harvey police officer on scene, as a funeral procession left St. Mark's Missionary Baptist Church in Harvey, someone opened fire on the processional line. According to witnesses on scene, she was the brother of the man being buried. Her condition remains currently unclear. Police taped off a perimeter around a white SUV, which the woman crashed into a home on the corner of 147th Street and Sealy Avenue in Dixmoor after being injured. The home site directly across from Rosa Parks Middle School at West Harvey Dixmoor School District 140.
Laid to rest.
Yeah, and this is a story that really shook so many of us. Our Lionel Donovan spoke with the state's attorney about the conviction and also what's next.
State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy described what happened as a compounding tragedy because not only was a 30-year-old man shot and killed that day, it occurred at the funeral of a 10-year-old girl who also lost her life to gun violence in D.C.
An unbelievable act of violence.
On June 6th of 2023, friends and family gathered at Washington National Cemetery in Suitland to lay 10-year-old Ariana Davis to rest. But instead of mourning in peace, violence erupted. Court documents say 50-year-old Wilson Chavis shouted profanities at the pastor and two people associated with a rival funeral company. When Chavis shoved the pastor, 30-year-old Ronald Banks stepped in to help. Court documents say Chavis then pulled out a gun and shot Banks and another woman. Banks was rushed to the hospital, but did not survive.
The saddest part about that day was that the mother of Ariana Davis said that she never got to see her daughter buried, lowered into the ground, and that someone had to tell her where her daughter was buried out at later.
Now that Chavis has been convicted, State's Attorney Braveboy says he faces up to 65 years in prison. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for July 11th. From Upper Marlboro, Lionel Donovan, WUSA 9.
And staying at Prince George.
One person now in custody following the shooting that happened while people were inside of this building mourning the loss of a young woman killed earlier this month. Witnesses say this shooting was gang-related.
This is all from 96 and Green, all the way over here.
A barrage of bullets in Blue Island, leaving 3 people hit by gunfire Friday afternoon during a family's celebration of a young life cut short.
My baby is gone. And then this happened? We moaning and this gonna happen?
It was during a funeral for 19-year-old Princess Bell, who was shot and killed alongside an 18-year-old man in Chicago's Washington Heights neighborhood on June 3rd, when her grandfather tells me an argument broke out between people he does not know.
They all were talking about whatever gang or whatever group they were into it with, they were going to pay.
Then relatives say at Bell's repast at this Salvation Army Community Center near Minnesota and Francisco Avenue, multiple gunmen pulled up firing shots from the parking lot.
The ones that started all of this, they're the first ones running past the kids. So we're trying to get in the back, out of harm's way.
At that time, one of the occupants of the building who possessed a concealed carry permit returned fire.
Sources tell ABC7 that attendee with the concealed carry license shot one of the offenders when the suspect's gun jammed. 2 people were treated for minor injuries, a third in critical.
If it is indeed a retaliatory incident, we do not know for sure yet. So this area has seen too many of these, and it's always tragic.
While police continue to question the person in custody, they say an investigation is underway to identify the vehicle involved and the remaining suspects. In Blue Island, I'm Trey Ward, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Police on the scene investigating shots fired outside Mount Olive Church. Apparently, we've zoomed in pretty close on the vehicle there outside the church. The funeral service, again, was underway there right now for a 23-year-old woman who was shot and killed holding her 7-month-old baby. The baby is okay, but again, this funeral service was for that woman. The shots fired outside the church. We don't believe anyone was hit, but we do have crews on the scene right now. We may have video from inside the church. Let's play that now from the moment those shots were fired. Let's watch that if we can.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Where is it? Where is it? Come back here. Come back here. Get back. Get back.
My goodness, you could hear at least one shot being fired and then people running, chaos. You can hear that woman screaming, "Where's the baby?" Of course, this is during a funeral service at Mount Olive Church. You heard what sounded like a shot being fired, and then you saw people, running for cover. We know police are outside that church right now. We believe the shot was fired outside of the church. That's where police are right now investigating that shot being fired. Again, this happening in Cleveland's Mount Pleasant neighborhood right now. I believe there's an interview happening right now regarding this investigation. Let's listen in.
To be in the midst of a funeral service for a 23-year-old that died from gun violence, to have the service disrupted only by more gun violence, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have other questions, but that's really what I wanted to convey.
I mean, we cannot. Thank you. I appreciate it. So just talking to us and giving us that.
All right, you heard our Brittany Weir. You heard that woman echoing the thoughts of so many people right now at a funeral service for a 23-year-old woman who was shot and killed holding her 7-month-old baby, only at that very funeral service to be disrupted by shots being fired in the midst of all that grief. Again, you saw our Brittany Weir here live on the scene. Police investigating that shot report of another shooting outside a funeral service, outside a church. We'll continue to follow breaking developments there.